Right, so good evening to you. Viewers, this is just live on News Network, Zimai.com. There's an article that's been published on the website, and it says Chief Murinye cleared. This is the controversial chief from Bikita, who is alleged to have been cleared, according to this article, by Dr. Masimba Mavaza. And we just want to quickly tonight just to hear from Dr. Mavaza what on earth is going on here. Dr. Mavaza, good evening.
Good evening, Masimba. Good evening, Zimbabwe and fellow friends, wherever we are.
Doc Mavaza, this is a chief who caused mayhem in his area only a few days ago. Is it last week? This is a man who blocked children while they're going to school, and is the only chief who embarrassed chiefhood or chieftainship, the respect that people give to my chief, and and at a time when it is widely believed this man does not respect property rights. Now we see your article, Dr. Mavaza. You are saying that this chief has been cleared. This man whom most Zimbabweans see as corrupt. How on earth do you allege, Dr. Mavaza, that Chief Murinye of this level of controversy, which is not the only controversy, let's be honest. This Mavaza, the chief Vemusarinya hour.
Right, Simba, thank you very much. I think I'll take you through. Let me start with this one first, then we can
Mhm,
go to other issues.
mhm,
Uh, the first issue we look at here is the chief in his area. It's don't forget, this is a rural area, not an urban area. And if a man comes in a village, a rural area, and takes over 30 hectares, can you imagine where would the villagers be staying? Where would their cattle be grazing? Where would their children be building their houses? The village expands, but the land does not expand. This is a man who is rich, who could buy land anywhere, who decides to come and get free land in a village because he has money. And when he does that, there was a conversation going on between him and the chief and the traditional leaders of the area. And he assured them that the school will not be opened until the issue is finalized and rectified. And while the chief was sitting in his chief's scroll, he saw buses going towards the direction of the school. And then he phoned his headman to go and find out what's happening. And then while they've gone there to see what's happening, they called him to say Mr. Mtangira had lied. He's actually opening the school and students are coming. That was done without the chief's knowledge, and it was done outside the fairness, outside the trust they'd bestowed on each other. And then the chief went to see what was happening, and obviously, as a chief, he had to tell parents to wait until the matter is resolved. I understand the plight of the parents. These are parents coming from as far as Harare, Mutare, everywhere in Zimbabwe, coming to this school. But they are not aware of the struggles and fights happening in the village. Don't forget, Riverton has got its other school elsewhere at Mr. Mtangira's farm, where it is thriving and doing well. And yes, we should appreciate that his school is doing very well. Students from his school are passing with A's and A stars, but not from this extension. This is an extension, not the original school. Now, the chief had three questions he was asking. You have developed a class A school in a village. By doing so, you are destroying the village. You are destroying the rural area. It's not called development, it's called cultural destruction. Number two, he says, assuming that this school goes on as this is now going on, what benefit are our children in this area going to get? And by our children, he's not talking about his biological children. He's talking about his children as a chief, the children of that village, of that area, of that district.
Anzindeva
No,
yake
no,
nemadzimai
Simba,
yake
no.
nemasmall
Let me finish. And then by asking those questions, Mutangira, because he's rich and he has money and bribes everything along his way, and I can prove that in 2 minutes.
That's a personal
Allow
allegation.
me,
Please don't
allow me to
allege.
finish. Allow me to
But
finish.
please don't allege something
Remember,
criminality. You're alleging
remember,
criminality.
remember. I understand the law very well. I am not alleging
But
criminality.
bribing us.
I'm simply exposing it. So let me continue.
You're
Before you
going to
can,
need to validate it, and you can't
yes,
validate it.
I will,
So it's
but
not fair. It's not fair
do
for you
not
to accuse him.
do not defend corruption. Can I finish? Because you have
You
been
haven't
accusing the
proven
chief.
corruption.
You have been accusing the chief without any proof either. So let me continue. So now, when you look at this, Simba, the chief then came and then a commotion started. If Mutangira was a reasonable man, he would have simply gone to the chief and talk. But no, he came with a bunch of police officers whom he was ordering to arrest the chief. Thank God for the police, for the commissioner general of the police. He said that this is a traditional issue, must be dealt according to the tradition, and therefore he told his police to stand down, having been ordered by a civilian to arrest the chief. And all, that is clear. That's on papers. You can see that. And when that happened, I want you to understand here. Then the lies started peddling. The lies were that the chief demanded that Mr. Tangira must put his children at his school. The chief has no children of that school going age. And the children of the chief have gone to better schools, universities, they've graduated. And yes, there are some little small children, but they are not at the high school age at the moment. And therefore, for anybody to lie and say the chief wanted his children to go to school free, it's a lie. The chief is not just a chief who's relying on the chief's allowance. He runs businesses. He has got his lorries, the Imrodawafa lorries transport. He runs lorries. He runs his businesses, and his farm is thriving. And therefore, his wife is a nurse who runs medical shops in Karoi and in Chegutu and in Banget. Quite a lot of shops they are running. This has nothing to do with Mutangira or any of his monies. A point you have to understand, Simba, is that in every area, the chiefs have got their own different laws. Subjects would come and offer their services to the chief. Some will come and plow the fields, some will come and do the plantation. It's called Zundera Mambo. It's not, you don't have to be paid for that. And some will come and say, no, chief, instead of me coming and do this, I can put electricity here. It was his offer to put electricity at the chief's place and the places which he was told to do so. But then the problem is he thought because he had put electricity, now he's above the law. The chief stood above all that things and said, regardless of what you have done, we follow the rules here. Simba, the minister of state for Masvingo province actually stood up and said, and the record you can play his video. He said, yes, the school had not been properly registered, but they are looking into it, and the matter is under discussion. Which means the chief was right when he said this school has been there illegally. It is still there illegally because it has not been registered yet. Even though the kids are going to school, the chief had to back down and say, while the parents cannot suffer for the mistakes of Mr. Mtangira, he then had to allow them to go to school while the matter is being discussed. And the chief was simply saying, if since you have taken the grazing land for our village, replace it with something. You have money, buy. Simba, I want you to look because you have talked about history of what the chief has done before. Do you know Mr. Mtangira built,
Mm. He,
constructed?
he stopped.
Let me finish.
He blocked the Econet. He blocked Econet.
No, he didn't block them. His Econet built up their thing on a holy mountain culturally, and he said because of this, he didn't block it. He asked them to pay the white
But who
the
does
white
that? Who does that?
the chief does that. And you know, and I know you might not believe it because you are a very strong and brave Christian, but when Econet ended up paying, because when they refused, that thing could not work, the booster could not work, snakes were found around there for a while until they had to come and pay. The day
Man.
they paid, everything worked. Simba, I am a Christian myself, but we must believe in our culture.
Why don't we see
Christianity,
snakes in the rivers that the Chinese are destroying, the graves that the Chinese are
be-
destroying,
because
the
the
graves
chiefs,
that
because
rotten
the
back,
chiefs, the
the
chiefs
graves
of
that
that
rotten
area,
back. Eh.
the chiefs of that area are compromised. The Chinese cannot do that in Chief Murinye's area. They will see that the Chief Murinye will stand up regardless of whoever has been
Are
bribed
you
and
saying
make
there's not
noise.
a single Chinese person in Murinye's area?
They are not doing what the other Chinese are doing in other areas. They are
Is that
following the
feasible?
law.
Is that feasible?
Very feasible. Because
Chukuyako,
Chief Murinye stands
chukuyako,
up for his people. And he stands
chukuyako.
up for his district. He stands up for his chiefdom.
Chauya nemavidhio edu nemakamera totora
Exactly.
evidence. Hakuna nzvimbo
Exactly.
isina muchinese
You
muzimbabwe.
no, you are not understanding. You are not listening to what I'm saying. They are Chinese, but they are doing it properly because Chief Murinye stands up and puts them in the line. He is not like other
Can
chiefs
we
who are
see one
afraid
business that Murinye has driven his car to block a Chinese in the road like the way he did? This black man, this
because
thick black son of the soil. Can you show us
listen,
one incident where he drove his car to go and
Simba,
block? Eh,
Simba, nyika inowakwa nevene vayo. This black businessman is not building or developing. He's destroying our culture, our roots, our traditions. By building such a big school in our grazing land, depriving the poor villagers of their land. These are
ah,
poor villagers who do not have farms. And the only land they call theirs has been taken by a man who has two farms elsewhere, schools everywhere, and developing into a village. That's not developing a village. If you are developing a village, you do a development where the villagers benefit. In this area, Simba, the guy has bought the land to close to nothing and then build a beautiful school, which is good. But he is the only one benefiting and not the villagers. And that is
uh,
not called
all
development.
those
That is called
infrastructure,
greedy.
the money, the jobs, everything. And he's
No,
a black man.
there is not even a single teacher at that school from that district. Not even one, including the caretaker. You know, he's behaving like a Chinese who brings his own people to the school in the area. He has not provided employment to the people in Murinye area. The only thing the Murinye community benefited is the name, the Riverton Murinye extension. Only the name, nothing else. There is no benefit, and that's what the chief was saying. I cannot allow a development where my people do not benefit. And
But right
again,
now, but look at it here, Doc
yeah,
Mavaza. When
yes,
ZANU PF had its conference in
yes, uh
Mutare, right?
yes, yes,
Eh, if you look at it, just being in Mutare for 2 days, the development that happened in there,
yes.
yeah, there was development. Why? Because people came from another region into Mutare. When they were in Gwanda, when they were no, it no, no, no. Recently, it was another town. Yeah,
Simba,
every time when they move, my point is, here is an international school, a private
Simba,
school in
Simba,
a
you are not. No,
village,
no,
and
no,
you are
no, no.
telling me there's no value,
Simba,
infrastructural and community industry value
I cannot
that
allow you to get
this
lost.
private school.
Let me explain this to you, Simba, clearly.
eh,
The example you have given for a ZANU PF conference in Mutare.
Just for 2 days. Two
Wait,
days.
you are not
Two
listening.
days. Eh,
5 days. You are not listening, Simba.
mm,
ZANU PF had not pitched a conference center in Mutare forever. They were
mm.
there, brought business for that period, and
How much did
developed.
they bring?
Listen, Simba,
They brought in
listen.
5 million.
exactly. And then they left. That was a conference,
Yeah.
which covers,
But it
and
developed,
everybody.
but it developed Mutare.
Say, but
Just that
are we
it
going to have an argument match, or we gonna give others chance
no,
to
no,
talk?
no, it's fine. But they
Yeah.
brought in
So let
5
me
million.
now let me talk.
Mutangira is
Simba,
bringing.
you have
Okay.
raised your point, but if you don't allow me to
No,
explain
go
to your
ahead, go
point,
ahead, go ahead.
we'll
Let's
end up
see.
arguing. I'm saying ZANU PF came to Mutare, it really raised business in Mutare. The Mutare people came, sold their things, sold their groceries. The shops benefited. The roads were made, and now even the Mutare, the border post is now being developed fast because of that. It's different from when one man comes and takes your area forever in the name of development. Mutangire is not just there, he is there forever because it's a permanent structure which is taken away from the people. He is reminding us of the days when a white man can come in a village, chuck you out, and build up whatever he wants to build, and employs his own people, and ask you to go to school if you want to be employed there. There
Has
was
ZANU
no
PF,
benefit.
has ZANU PF not taken the country forever?
No, ZANU PF is part of the country. Mutangiri is a person, a different person. ZANU PF has not taken the country forever, but it has given the people the country forever. ZANU PF has given us freedom forever. And but you know, freedom, Simba, you must understand one thing. Your freedom starts exactly where my freedom ends. But Mutangiri's freedom is strayed into the freedom of the poor villagers of the Murinye area. And what I'm simply saying here is, if you go by the article I've written, Mutangira then lied on TV and lied on social media that the chief demanded a bribe of having his children go there for free. When in actual fact, the chief said, let the villagers benefit from that school too. Simba, you understand the system in England where they build beautiful places, council houses, mixing them with new areas so that people we regenerate. We don't only have the rich in their own area, but this time we are building a school where people of that area do not benefit, not even a thing, where only Mutangiri is the one benefiting. And the chief is not saying don't benefit. He's simply saying to him, honor your word. You said we were going to discuss, and we are going ahead without discussing. Simba, I gave an example of last week. Mutangiri built some years back. He built two dams without the authority, and Zinwa came in, argued, and tried to stop him. He used his money and he built those dams. What happened 2 weeks ago? They were swept away, and the crocodiles in the dams are now, as we speak today, they are seen roaming the villages. The villagers are the ones who are suffering. Mutangiri is not staying downstream. He's staying in the up market, only looking, seeing what his dams has done, destroyed the crops, destroyed the rivers, destroyed 4 bridges along the river, simply because he built a dam where he was told it was not safe.
But
And
they
he
are not. But
did.
they are not. Are they the only dams that have been destroyed by the floods?
These are the only dams destroyed by the floods which were built illegally. It does not have to absolve him. Now he has built a school illegally. We've just seen what happens to illegality, and we want to see another disaster in the Murinye area. What we are simply saying here, Simba, is we must learn to respect our chiefs. If a chief comes and stand up and says no, go and talk politely, nicely. Yeah, he did. He insulted the chief. He used a vulgar word to the nation, insulting the head of that traditional area. And we are not condemning that. Why? And nobody condemned him for that. And if he's asked by the chief to pay a fine, he will refuse because he has money. He's protected. He's abusing the money. And that is wrong. We cannot allow that to happen. And so the chief has actually stood up his ground. We actually encourage chiefs to be like Chief Murinye. Chief Murinye is a pioneer of freedom. He stood up and said no when we are supposed to say no. And even though we can see that nobody is trying to support him, but they are trying to support where the money is, it is wrong. These people with money, they will go. but the traditions would remain. But it's those traditions which are being destroyed by people with money. And nobody, not even one person, stood up to say the school was legal. No, they are all saying, yes, it's illegal. But let it go. Let it be illegal because it's a development. It's an illegal development which must not be allowed because of its illegality. And this is my point. This is my argument. This is why I'm saying we should not allow this nonsense to go ahead. Are you
But
understanding the point here?
I'm hearing you, but are there not so many illegal things in the country? Look at it here. The country itself, Zimbabwe, Rhodesia, it's an illegal country. This country is supposed to be run by chiefs. Harare should not even be there right now. It should be called Mbare. It should be under Chief Mbare, right? Um, and yet you have allowed illegality to roam. And right now, the money it is going to the Ugandandas, to foreigners, and all sorts. If you were really truly concerned about illegality or legality, surely every chief in the country would be restored to their status, their
Simba,
proper status, not this colonial system
let me answer.
where they answer
Let
to
me
July
answer.
Moyo or to the
Let me
Minister
answer this.
of Home Affairs, of Home Office or Home Affairs.
Simba, let me answer you, and I want you to understand this politely. What you have said here, I'm not responsible for having your mouth far away from your brains.
I'm saying
Because
if
let me
the
finish.
same way, the same thing that you
I
are
am
saying, this
not.
is an illegality.
You are not
There's
listening,
so many
Simba.
illegalities all over the country. The
Are you
people
saying,
in the whole country are not benefiting. The poor of the it's only Chivayo, the
Simba? Simba?
Ugandans, and foreigners who are benefiting from the country. So
Are
if
you
you're going to
saying? Are you saying because there's illegality somewhere, we must allow it to go on?
no. Chivayo, which
Yes.
school? Can you show me which school that Chivayo has ever built?
Chivayo is not.
Mutangiri has built
Listen,
a school of
listen,
international
Simba.
standards that is bringing
Chiv,
kids from outside the country, right,
Chivayo,
to learn.
Chivayo is not the minister of education. He
It
does not have
doesn't
to build
matter,
a
but
school.
he's a Ugandan.
Chiv,
He's
no,
benefiting from taxpayer funds. Mutangiri
no.
is not getting any
Chivayo
money
is
from
running.
taxpayer.
I'm not here to defend Chivayo at all, but I can tell you that Chivayo is running a business. And if you don't understand it, you need to ask him. He can explain to you.
Which
He
business?
is not. He is not a proof of illegality. Chivayo actually is an entrepreneur, and he has done his business. And what he has done, what he has shown people, is that with all his monies, he helps people. But it's not up to people to tell Chivayo whom he should help. It's up to Chivayo to help whom he wants. It's his money. And he does what he wants to do. He cannot be forced to help people you want because simply you think the money has been stolen. There is no proof that Chivayo has stolen the money. Our anti-corruption board, the ZAC, actually stood up and said Chivayo has not committed any crime in this case or the other. And therefore, you cannot compare Chivayo to Mutangira. Mutangira is stealing from the villagers. Chivayo is giving the villagers, the comedians, and he's just telling you he's using his money the way he wants to use it. We are not saying the source of his money is justified or not, but we are simply saying the use of his money is using it within
until
Zimbabwe.
until Chief Murinye goes and blocks Chivayo's car, blocks Chivayo's way with his the same way he blocked Mutangiri. Kutangira kwavakaita kuna Mutangiri kuya vakanotangira Chivayo tomuvhara paairport paipe kuti hakuna kwauri kuenda.
Let me tell you one thing, Simba.
Because yeah,
No, no,
then
Simba. Chief Murinye is not the chief of the whole country. He's the chief of the Murinye
doesn't
Murinye
yeah, but the
area.
people of Murinye are being impoverished by Chivayo.
No,
Their
no, no.
destiny is blocked
Keep
by Chivayo, more
Simba,
by Chivayo than
Simba,
Mutangiri.
Simba. Keep Chivayo out of this. We are concentrating on Mutangiri.
Why?
Chivayo,
Why
listen,
Chivayo?
listen, listen.
Why say
Chivayo,
Mutangira pana Mutangiri muchisiya Chivayo
Chivayo,
uyo ari kuvharira
Chivayo does
mwana
not
wese
belong.
weZimbabwe?
Chivayo does not belong to Chief Murinye's area.
Ah.
Chivayo, listen. Chivayo, Chivayo has not gone to deprive Chief Murinye's villagers. Chivayo had not done anything wrong which is provable. Chivayo had not built anything illegal else anywhere. Chivayo had actually taken his money, which he could actually enjoy quietly, and given to people he donated. He bought ambulances. That's his area. That's his passion. He cannot be told how to use his money. It's his. It's not the duty of Chivayo to develop the country. It's the duty of the government. So Chivayo he helps where he wants to and is allowed to do so. That is the proof, that is the sign of freedom. And therefore, you cannot in any way then say Mutangira is better than Chivayo. No, we cannot compare the two. Chivayo has not taken any land by force. Yes, if there are illegalities in Chivayo's dealings, we have to prove them. But for now, Chivayo has nothing to do with what is happening in Mashingo at the moment. What is happening in Mashingo now, it's the unlawlessness being caused by the rich and the poor chief who is trying to put his district straight and helping his people. And he becomes now a victim, victimized by even yourselves. People should stand behind the chief and support him. Now, there is nothing wrong in what the chief has done. And what you can tell you now is the authority in Masvingo are now dealing with the matter. Wherever they're dealing with it, they will come back to the public and tell you how the matter has been resolved. So we cannot start judging Chief Murinye for doing the right thing. He did the good thing, and we must thank him for that. And we must encourage other chiefs that your areas. I've seen, I don't know who's that chief in Mazoe, where the Chinese have actually blocked a Mazoe River, cut it in between, and then blocked it forever. They were supposed to go and make those Chinese pay and open and have the river flow again. And that if that was Chief Murinye's area, the Chinese would have been kicked out of that area quickly. So you can see how courageous Chief Murinye is. He's a man of courage, and is the man we can stand up and say, these are the chiefs we need. And he's actually doing and going through the mantra of the president that Nika and defend whenever, and he's defending his country, his area, his region, and his people. So Simba, um, what Mtangira has done is wrong. What I want you to say, Simba, in short, is one, it is a lie to say Chief wanted a bribe. Two, it is a lie to say Chief wanted his kids to go to that school for free. It is a lie again to say that the chief is hindering development. He's actually saying development must be orderly. You cannot develop disorderly because it will destroy you in future. And the chief is saying we cannot be taken back to the colonial areas where the rich will just come and build where they want and kick you out of your village because they've got money or because they've got power. He is there and he says, do what you want to do to him or to his chieftainship, but he will stand by his people, for his people, with his people.
Dr. Mavaza, we're going to need to end, but we'll end with this question. Why on earth did the chief use a car that he got from a convicted fraudster called Wicknell Chivayo to go and block a school building, a school institution, a school infrastructure?
And Simba,
Yakavakwa nemene warikaitipedzeka yakavakwa, which was built by Venevayo of the country through a son of the soil called Mutangiri. Why did the chief use a Wicknell Chivayo car, a car that he got from a convicted fraudster, to go and block school kids from attending school? If he
now,
is truly a builder, if he's truly a chief,
okay, Simba, I'll answer that one.
and not a thief.
Number one, the car was not donated to to the chief by say Wicknell Jivayo. The car was given to the chief as well, all the chiefs by the government. It is government's issue.
All the cars in the
No,
country are through
listen.
Chivayo.
No, that's what you are saying, but that's not what is true. And the second point is he did not use the car to block. He used the car to put the law and order into practice. He actually used the car for its purpose. It is his car to use, and he used it in the duties of his chieftainship. And we must applaud him for that courage. None of you can demonstrate such courage, such power, such patriotism, which has been demonstrated by the chief Murinye, Ephias Munodawafa. And that is actually saying, yeah, Munongo Mudawafa. But while he's still alive, he wants to show you that one day you'll look back and say, once upon a time, there was a chief who loved his people, who would go in front. He would not send people, he go himself. He leads by example. He goes there in the thickest of the war. He leads there. He takes the bullet from the rich people like the Mtangiras. He takes the bullet from the misguided soldiers who were intimidating him. And he takes the bullet for the sake of his people and for the sake of his president. And I want to tell you one thing. The Chief Murinye loves his country, loves his party, loves his country, he loves his president. And again, people are trying to demonize him to make him look like he's an enemy, but yet he is the comrade in arms and is the comrade in youth. And his blood, his sweat is going to water the freedom of the Murinye people. And I would say to the Murinye people, they are lucky to have Chief Murinye as their chief at this time of trouble, where he stands up regardless of what people would say. And there is nowhere in the country you would see a chief going up in front with the spear in his hand. That is the spear of the constitution, the spear of his wisdom, to say this and no further. Unfortunately, the school is going ahead. He says he cannot disadvantage the kids, but we must go back to the basics, go back to the table. We cannot allow illegality because it has started. We have to start stopping it. And again, do not confuse Sir Wicknell Chivayo and Mutangiri. Chivayo is a patriot doing what he can do for with his money. And nobody should tell him how he should use his money. So it is wrong for us to want to tell Chivayo how to use the money. So, in short, and in closing, as you have said, we are closing, we need to stand behind and rally behind Chief Murinye.
We need to stand behind the chief who uses a Wicknell connected car to block infrastructure, to block kids. And we need to target individuals who start their businesses vanotangirawo vamwe kutanga mabusinesses tovablock.
Mm, right.
Ndokuda-
Yeah. All right. Simba, since said this last one. One,
yes,
Wamtangira, havana kublokwa kutanga business. Wamtangira is a businessman.
vanhu vaendesa kuchikoro
And
vakavabloka
uh,
kuti
uh,
vapinze vana chikoro.
vaextenda, vamutangira zvavaita, vaextenda chikoro chavo, vachitora nzvimbo yavatora pachena, pasina kubhadharwa.
Tiratidzei one kana crash zvayo a preschool that Wicknell has ever run.
Wicknell is running a company which employs over thousands of people. Wicknell has raised up my dying professions. Abatsira ma
Eh,
comedians, ma dancers,
eh,
abatsira the party, abatsira the country, abatsira ma hospitals.
nemota dzinobonderedza.
My drivers akatadza kudriver his moshaya on, but he has done his part, he's done his best, and I think we, all the rich people, must do what Wicknell is doing. Help people out there. At this kuti susu Wicknell is right or is wrong. I'm simply saying in this comparison of Wicknell and Mutangiri, it is wrong. Wicknell is a patriot in his own right, and we must leave him to do what he's doing without a problem. But the chiefs must be protected, Simba. Simba, are you saying, before you close, are you saying Mutangiri was right to use vulgar? No, no,
Chief
no. Let
protected
me
by
finish.
who?
Let me finish.
Mm,
Let me
mm,
finish. Are you
mm.
saying Mutangiri was right to insult the chief using the vulgar word in front
Was
of
the
the whole
chief
nation?
was the chief right to vulgarly drive his car and block kids, exposing himself to ridicule even of kids, so kids could even insult him? Was he right for him to
Right.
put himself in the line of fire with school
Before
children?
I answer that
Someone,
one,
someone, someone of the stature of Chief Murinye with all his eloquence. And was he right to put himself where even kids could insult him?
Okay, Simba, before I answer this question, I know you're a very intelligent person. Don't run away from my question. And you must be
Yes.
fair and
Yes.
just in your answering. Do not hide behind what you think. I am saying, are you promoting the chiefs to be insulted because you think they are wrong?
Did the chief not insult himself? Why are you
Answer the
promoting the
question.
chief? Why
No,
are
no,
you
answer. No,
promoting?
no, no, Simba.
I'm answering you. I'm answering you.
No, you're not. You're asking. You
Are
don't
you
answer my
supporting
question.
the chief to insult himself? The chief insulted himself. The
Don't worry
chief
about
drove
that.
a car. Yeah, the
That's
chief
fine.
drove a
I'll answer
car
that.
to
I'll
break
answer that.
kids. What did
I'll
you
answer
want the
that.
kids to say? What did you want the kids to say?
It was not the kid who insulted him. It was Mr. Mtangira, the adult. My
No,
question to you
he was
is,
speaking on behalf of the children.
my question to you is, would you really think that a man who shouts vulgar in front of children is better man to entrust your children to for the whole year? Simba, be fair. Forget about what you think the chief has done. Answer about what Mtangira has done. Do you think it was a fair thing to do? If
Mutangiri is running a school. He's running a
I
school.
am,
Eh.
is he running a school of vulgar, obscenity,
Is the chief running a
profane?
chieftainship of putting himself in the line of vulgar with kids,
No,
of
no.
insults with kids?
The chief
Why does
went.
why
The
does the
chief
chief put himself in a position where he can be
Simba,
insulted by
Simba.
children? Eh,
The chief sacrificed his dignity for the sake of his people. That's why he went in the line of fire and the line of insults. But the question you are refusing to answer, and the people will judge you from your answer. I am simply saying, are you promoting a Zimbabwe where adults will insult people vulgar words like that in front of children? Are you saying that is right? Just say yes or no. And in your answer, think carefully. What are you teaching people to do tomorrow? Are you promoting them to do what Mtangira did? Are you afraid to say Mtangira was wrong here and was right there? Are you afraid to tell the truth? Why are you leaning on the side of falsehoods? Why are you showing favor of the profanity and vulgarity of a man of stature? My question comes back to you again, and the world and Zimbabwe wants to get an answer from you. Do you think Mutangira was right to insult the chief with vulgar words in front of children? And this comes
we're
to
gonna
your
need to end.
ethics. Yes. Before we end, are you agreeing that the Butangira was right in breaking ethics, culture, and dignity by insulting the chief using vulgar words in front of kids? Is that the key, the future you want to create for your children?
Dogma Vaza, let's continue this conversation tomorrow and bring a panel so that we can have a balanced program, because you and the chief, you are ganging up, you are throwing your words here. Let's get a few more people to speak, and I think we should get people from Chief Murinye's area to also come
Yes.
in and speak. Thank
And
you
you
very
can
much,
get
Dr.
him,
Mavaza.
get him Tangira as well. I know today you are the defender for, you are the lawyer from Tangira, and
Eh,
that's fine. But your client is wrong. He insulted
eh,
people.
I
He's teaching our children to use vulgar words,
I don't
and
even know.
he must be sanctioned for that.
Dr. Mavaza, thank you very much. Yours, this
You're
is
welcome.
here's the article. Yes, here's the article. We've published it here. This is the article by Dr. Mavaza, who says Chief Murinye has been cleared. Yeah, the article is on the Zimai News Network. Let's hear your views, Zimbabweans. Type them in the comment box right there. If you're watching this program later on, I know it's very late in the night. Right now, at the time of this broadcast, type it in the comment box and press the share button. Give us your feedback. Also, if you are in Chief Murinye's area and you also want to give us your views, drop us those views. Send us an audio, send us a video expressing your views about it. And the number is +4742 686 3301. We will share, we will broadcast as soon as possible. Thank you very much, Dr. Mavaza.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Good night. Good night, Zimbabwe, and bye bye.
Much appreciated. Thank you. Here we go.
This is Semi Media, broadcasting all round the world, on the spot, on the dot.